we always say that like it takes a village, but then we are so hesitant to actually ask and support our village. Moms, we need to grow our villages, and we do that by not feeling guilty for asking for help and by offering help as well. This is Bold Intentional Life, the podcast for moms who are ready to stop sleepwalking through life. Hi, I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I know how easy it is to get caught up in the daily grind, running on autopilot, feeling overwhelmed, and wondering if this is all there is. But here, we're about taking back control, realigning with what matters most, and making every moment count. You deserve more than just going through the motions. It's time to step into a life of purpose, balance, and fulfillment, one small, impactful change at a time. Each week, we'll dive into real talk, practical tips, and empowering conversations to help you shift from just getting by to fully showing up for yourself, your family, and your dreams. No more waiting. Your bold, intentional life starts now. Hi, and welcome back to the Bold Intentional Life podcast. I'm your host, Jessie, and I'm so excited to be hanging out with you today. If you are a longtime listener, welcome. And if this is your very, very first time, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. If by chance you are a longtime listener and you haven't yet left a 5-star rating or review on either Apple or Spotify or even Amazon, I would be incredibly, incredibly appreciative if you would just scroll down. You're listening in the app right now, click those little stars and leave a quick little review. It not only makes me feel really good as a bonus, but it helps other people when they're searching for a new podcast to help them live more intentionally, live more on purpose, get out of overwhelm, and just really help them with mom life. If they see your review, they know that this is the podcast for them. So if you could do that, that would be incredibly helpful. And let's just get into the episode for today. I want to talk about overwhelm and getting out of overwhelm and giving you some really, really practical steps when you are feeling like you are burning the midnight oil, like overwhelm is taking over your life, your to-do list is way too long, your fuse is short, and you just feel like you can't do it anymore. I have some tools for you to put in your toolbox, to put in your back pocket that you can pull out. I love having simple tools that can help shift us really, really, really quick. And that is exactly what these are. Now, because I'm a huge word nerd, because I love words and acronyms and analogies and all those things, these steps are really easy to remember because they are called the 5 8s, ATES, because every single word ends with 8. So there's 5 quick things you can do to get yourself out of overwhelm. We'll dive deep into them, but they are celebrate, eliminate, automate, delegate, and regulate. And we will get into how each one of those 8s can help you with overwhelm. So the very first one is celebrate. And there is a reason why this is number 1. It is the power of a mindset shift. Celebration and gratitude are not just feel-good practices, but they're actually a really, really powerful tool to help shift your mindset before doing anything else. It instantly changes your perspective. It shifts your focus from lack, from overwhelm, immediately to appreciation, to abundance, and to just feeling good. It's almost kind of like when they say, your phone's glitching out, turn it off and turn it back on, or your computer, unplug it or plug it back in. It's kind of that same thing. It really helps to just interrupt that overwhelm pattern, that flow of thinking. And it really honestly is a crucial first step for overcoming your overwhelm. It just creates a positive shift when things feel very, very chaotic. So celebrate or gratitude, right? But I had to make it fit with my 8s, is really important. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, the first thing that you do is to think about a small win. Even the seemingly really insignificant ones. It's a powerful way to build momentum, to build to boost your motivation, and it's a reason why celebrate is very first. Okay. So celebrate whatever small thing you did today. Celebrate. I made my bed. Great. I took my dog on a walk. Great. Got the kids to school. Was it on time? No, but they're at school. That's a win for me, right? Whatever your win is, celebrate it. Celebrate your wins. If you feel like you don't have any wins that you can celebrate, which you do, shift into gratitude. Gratitude is a way of celebrating. It's celebrating your life. It's celebrating the things that you have, that you're grateful for, that are good things. Simply recognizing and appreciating just the small things. It's a powerful, powerful practice. And it just, like I said, it interrupts that flow of overwhelm. It interrupts that doom thinking, that spiral thinking, and just gives you a moment to just kind of pause. If you don't do anything else to overcome your overwhelm, to combat it, to reduce it, simply doing this step of celebrating will have huge impact on how you feel. Does it take things off your to-do list? No. Does it check things off? Does it actually do anything to kind of move that needle forward? No, but that mindset shift and just that pause is incredibly powerful for helping you to be able to tackle the rest of the things that you need to tackle. So I encourage you that if you are feeling overwhelmed, anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, to just take a pause and find something to celebrate, and it will do wonders. All right, let's shift into more practical. The second eight in the five eights is eliminate. We got to get rid of something. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that is clue number one that you've got too much. Either too much going on, you're juggling too many balls, and something's got to go. Now, if you have a hard time saying no, which could be a huge reason why you are feeling overwhelmed, then the episode from last week is going to be one that you definitely need to listen to. It's all about how to say no, why saying no is so important, and that it's a huge piece to actually living intentional. So if you skipped that episode, go back and listen to it because it's going to help you with this step. I shared some scripts, some go-to things you can say when you need to say no without feeling like a jerk. And it's just a great overall episode for how to get rid of some things, how to eliminate, and how to say no. But let's actually talk about eliminating, about removing stuff. So, a quick thing that you can do is to just simply eliminate something. And this can be as simple as taking the trash out. And I mean this quite literally, not like in a figuratively, like take the trash out, but I mean, go to your garbage can, get the trash, take it outside to the curb, like get rid of the actual trash. We all know that clutter impacts us, right? It drives up our stress, it increases our anxiety, it decreases our cognitive function, and it has a huge effect on our overall emotional well-being. There's been several studies done on the effects of clutter and just the extra stuff we have in our home. Studies have shown that people living in cluttered homes have higher levels of the stress hormone cortisol. A 2010 study published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology found that people in cluttered environments reported higher levels of anxiety and a greater sense of being overwhelmed. Okay, so people who were reporting feeling more overwhelmed was directly related to being in cluttered environments. So, something that you can do really easily before we even think about eliminating the things like off of our calendar or our to do list is literally eliminating clutter. Take the trash out, clear off a counter, throw some things away, like get it out of your sight. Okay. I know clutter and decluttering is a big topic at the beginning of the year, which we're still kind of in. Yes, January lasts forever. But there was a recent study published by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that clutter can also lead to decision fatigue. And when we have to make too many decisions, that also drives up our overwhelm, drives up that anxiety when we're having to constantly make decisions of where things are, what items do we keep, does this have a home? That leads to a sense of fatigue and overwhelm. So there's a reason why decluttering and getting rid of things at the beginning of the year is a big, it's like high on the to-do list. But if that is adding to your overwhelm, just a simple, literally, like I said, take out the trash, eliminate something. Now, besides just like the physical clutter that is causing us overwhelm, we also have other types of clutter and other types of things that we can eliminate. That can be unnecessary commitments. Is there anything on your calendar that you can eliminate? Okay. Is there anything that is digital clutter that you can get rid of? Are there apps on your phone that you no longer use? You might not think that that is driving up your overwhelm, but it is. So if there are apps that have that little download button by them that you haven't used in forever, just go on and delete them. Literally, if you're feeling overwhelmed, find something to eliminate, whether that's physical, whether that is mental, whether that is digital, get rid of it. Okay. And as you're doing this eliminate stage, it's always good to have a good reset, a good reframe, a mindset shift. We can think of eliminating or saying no or getting rid of. Those all kind of feel like they've got this low energy, kind of negative connotation to them. But if we reframe that as a form of self-care, as a form of making room for the things that matter, right? For having it be very, very, very purposeful, not just, oh, I got to say no, 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 because I don't have the capacity to deal with anything. That feels very heavy. That feels very negative. But reframing that as a form of self care, as a form of making room, as a form of being intentional, that is a growth mindset that you are leaning into and really, really, really helps. So if you are feeling overwhelmed and you need something to help you combat that, to help you reduce that overwhelm, eliminate is a great, great step. So think about, what is one thing I can release this week that doesn't serve me? Is it physical? Is it a commitment? And say no, get rid of it, eliminate. All right, let's jump to the third action step in my 5 8s, and that is to delegate. Moms, we think we have to do it all. And delegating can be hard because we like things done certain ways. Sometimes we like it done our way. And, you know, other people, especially our kids, especially our spouses, they aren't going to do it the right way. But if we can learn how to delegate, we're going to get rid of a lot of overwhelm in our life. So, this is an important one. This is an important one because we cannot do it all. In fact, we should not do it all. It's not our responsibility to do it all. And honestly, it's kind of selfish for us to do it all because we're not giving others the opportunity to learn, the opportunity to grow, to try something, to fail at it, to get better at it, especially our kids. That's what I'm talking about when we delegate some things to them. So let's normalize this, okay? Let's normalize not feeling guilty for asking for help, right? Because delegating can sometimes feel a lot like asking for help, which is why I like the phrase delegating. It still feels like I'm the mom, I'm in charge, I'm being intentional, and I am this manager who delegates these things out instead of I'm this mom who's drowning and I have to ask for help from others, right? We want to empower ourselves, we want to feel intentional. So don't feel guilty about passing things off or asking for help. It's actually incredibly empowering and incredibly intentional of you to know, hey, there's somebody else who could do this. This is not where I am needed. All right. Delegating to kids. I did an episode last summer on zone cleaning and why I love zone cleaning as a way to delegate to kids, because sometimes chore charts or other things that we're adding or that we're delegating off to our kids, it sometimes adds to our mental load because we're trying to make sure they're getting it done. We're trying to create a system that works. We're just managing all of this, and that adds kind of some extra overwhelm or extra mental load to ourselves. So I will link that episode below on zone cleaning and how you can make that work for you and your family. It is a great, great way to delegate to your kids. Now, let's talk about other ways to delegate because a lot of times we think about this as hiring help, right? Hiring a house cleaner or whatever. That's kind of the first thing that I think of. That is definitely an option if you have the resources to do that, right? Hiring a meal service, hiring a cleaner to get your stuff done, yard services, yard work, getting someone else to come and like mow your lawn or do your weeds or whatever. But I know that that is not always an option for all of us because we have to allocate our financial resources other places, and that is okay. We can get so creative with our delegating. Okay. One thing, a mantra that I use, by the way, is it mantra or mantra? I never know. And I say it differently every single time. So just be with me on this. Okay. One saying that I say to myself over and over again is I'm a creative problem solver. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, this is where I lean, especially with delegating and this next one, automating. Is how can I creatively solve this problem? Okay? So, I might not be able to hire help. I might be able to, but what are some creative ways that I could do this? Just kind of thinking about who else could help. Is there something else that me and my spouse could juggle together that we could tag team? And that is where you've got to have good communications because they've also got things going on. They might also be overwhelmed. So, really knowing which one of us has strengths. Now, my husband is really good in the homework department. He understands the kids' math, he's good at that. And honestly, they respond better to him with homework than they do for me. So, that one has been delegated over to him. When he's doing homework, I'm doing meal prep and dinner prep and kitchen cleanup, honestly, because that's when he's doing homework time. So that is a way that we have kind of delegated a task. Thinking about your kids, right? What can they take on? And what can they take on that you can completely hand off, right? That you don't have to monitor, that you don't have to babysit, so that it doesn't become a task for you and them. When we're delegating, we want to completely pass that off, okay? So, could that be, and that's going to depend completely on the ages of your kids and what they're capable of doing. I also like to think about my friends and my family and the other moms who are involved in the same thing that my kids are involved in. Is there a way that we could carpool together? Do eight of us really need to be driving to the soccer field, or could two of us be driving to the soccer field? Right? Thinking about ways to swap childcare if you could, or do meal trades, or I don't know. There's a ton of different ways that friends can step in and help you to delegate some of your tasks. Now, with this, and you don't have to feel guilty about it, right? We always say that like it takes a village, but then we are so hesitant to actually ask and support our village. Moms, we need to grow our villages. And we do that by not feeling guilty for asking for help and by offering help as well, right? Especially when it comes to like friends and family. Hey, can you do this? And I can help out this way, right? We make it like reciprocal. And it becomes this beautiful thing where we are all supporting one another to handle our overwhelm. It takes a village. We need to get back to our villages. All right. And like I said, just really putting on that creative problem solving hat and thinking about how can I delegate? How can I get some things off my plate? How can I get support around me to help me live more intentionally? So I encourage you to really, really think creatively about delegating and not just, well, I can't afford a house cleaner, right? A lot of times that's where it stops. All right, let's jump into the next one, which is automate. What can we automate, right? If we can just remove some of those decisions, that reduces a ton of our overwhelm. Something that I have automated is my laundry. So I do laundry every single day. And you might be thinking, oh my gosh, that feels overwhelming and I don't want to do that. But it is not overwhelming at all because it is completely automated. The laundry goes in at the end of the day. It gets set on a timer. It turns on first thing in the morning. The wash is done by the time I'm up. All I have to do is take it from the wash to the dryer, hit that on. It's like it's just on this automated schedule. Okay. Now, yes, I do physically have to like get it going, but it's an automated process. Okay. Another thing I think about is my robot vacuum that is just timed to come on and it vacuums my entire downstairs. That is an automated process. or an automated system. So think about the systems in your life that you can set up that will really, really help you. A lot of people automate their bill pay, right? That is something that you can automate. We have so much tech around us that is really, really awesome. Let's take advantage of the things that we can automate, right? So the robot vacuums, the other like smart home devices, like do your lights come on at a certain time or your thermostats change, automatic bill payments. You can do meal planning apps, automate your grocery delivery. You can also set reminders and calendar alerts. Setting reminders in your phone is amazing for automating. Just having those quick little things going off. So with automating, yes, there is thought beforehand. There is a process to getting it set up, but once it is set and going, it literally helps with that overwhelm. Okay? So thinking about where your bottlenecks are in your life, um for us, one of the things that we have automated is setting out my kids' clothes the night before. I make sure that they have everything. And I mean everything. Socks and jackets are the big ones because that was always the thing when we were running out the door of, "Oh my gosh, well, I don't have a jacket," or, "Oh my gosh, I can't find this." We do that the night before so that if there is anything missing, I can make sure that I have that ready and prepped. And so that is something that we have automated as well. It's an automatic thing that they know that when they go upstairs to get ready for bed, that is an automated system. So, with automation as well, you have to be creative. You have to think out of the box about what kind of systems you can set up in your unique family to save yourself time and to save yourself energy. Now, I do want to do a little bit of a plug here. This is a part that I love for one-on-one coaching or for a systems strategy call that I do offer those as well, where we just kind of talk about like, yeah, like what's going on? Where's your overwhelm? What systems could we put in place? Hi, I help you with that. Okay. So if that's something that you're interested in, head to jessielarson.com, shoot me over an email. There is a way that we can talk and get you all figured out and get automated systems set up in your home to help you with this overwhelm. All right. And the very, very last one that I want to talk about is regulate. Self regulation and boundaries are so essential in not even overcoming overwhelm, but preventing overwhelm in the first place. It's kind of that first cue that you are overwhelmed or that you're not regulated. As soon as I feel my fuse get short or my irritation levels, I know immediately I have not been regulating myself enough. Okay. And that's something that with practice, you'll get more and more aware of. I like to think of self regulation as just tuning in. I can recognize those signs. For me, it literally is that my fuse is short, my snappiness and my irritation level is high, right? I've got a very, very short fuse. That's immediately when I know I've got to do some self regulation today. What I like having is a go to list of things that help me. And again, those are going to be unique to you. Okay. Um, breath work, breathing, and meditation. If I can, I like to go to an actual breathwork facilitator, be able to put, an eye mask on and lay down and have my blanket and my pillow and have someone lead me through an hour of breath work. That's amazing. I also like knowing that I can just do box breathing really quickly by myself. I can sit in my car, I can go to my room, I can just close my eyes and do some quick breath work or meditation. Movement is a big one that I have. Go for a walk, go down in the gym, anything that is movement based. Having hobbies is a great way to regulate yourself. If it's reading, if it's art, if it's trying something new, knitting, crocheting, whatever your little hobby is, coloring with colored pencils. That's one that I love. And man, when I do that, I feel so good. Puzzles has been a big one for me lately. Finding just some quiet time or finding time for connection. I like to kind of just have this running go to list of things that I can do to help check in with myself, to feel regulated. When we are actively being mindful of how regulated we are, we can really, really, really prevent this cycle of overwhelm before it sets in, before it gets going too crazy, before it feels like we've got to do a full reset. So I kind of put this one as the last one, but it's actually kind of like a circle. All of these tools, all of these eights work really well together. And you don't have to do all five of them. It's kind of one of those things where you're like, all right, I'm feeling overwhelmed. What do I need to do really quick? Do I need to regulate? Do I need to celebrate? Do I need to eliminate something? Are my automations not running? Do I need to kind of rethink some of those? So this is just a great tool, a great framework to kind of help you reset when you are feeling overwhelmed. It's not something that you need to add to your plate to be like, all right, I've got this 5-step framework. I've got to follow it. No, these are just 5 little tools for you to add to your toolbox, to your I'm living on purpose, I'm trying to be intentional toolbox to help with your mental health. Okay. So let's go over those again really, really quickly. Celebrate, eliminate, delegate, automate, and regulate. Pick one. Just pick one. You can pick one to focus on this week before as a proactive way um, to combat overwhelm so that you don't even get there in the first place. Or if you're feeling really overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and pick one to do. If this episode felt really helpful for you and you know you've got a mom in your life who needs this as well, go ahead and send this to her. Forward it. Say, hey, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you are too. Here you go. Here's a great episode I listened to. I've got the zone cleaning episode linked below, and I've also got the episode on how to say no and why saying no is so important linked below. If you need more episodes to binge on, you can go ahead and click those next. And I did want to let you know that when it comes to living with intention and living on purpose, I love starting out my week on purpose. And so I have started a weekly call that is free to join at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's completely free. It's 30 minutes long. We just come on, we do a quick little review of the week we just had and how we can be intentional moving forward. We talk about, our top 3 urgent and important things. We talk about the things we're excited about, what habits and what steps we need to implement moving forward. It's a great call and it's a way to other moms and create and build community as well. So the link to sign up for that is also down in the show notes. Everything you need is down there. And you can just sign up for that. It's completely free. You'll just get a quick little reminder email right before we start. And last but not least, sorry, I'm ending this with so many little tidbits, but I did want to share that I've got a way to help your kids with their mental health and with their mindset as well. Not just you, I've got your whole family covered with a new podcast that has been out since about September of last year called 5-Minute Meditations for Kids. It is so quick and they are so fun. They are all 5 minutes or less, and they're just quick little meditations for your kids. We are on Spotify that has video, or you can just listen on Apple, or we're on YouTube as well. There is a link down there below if you want to have a great resource to help your kids build really healthy mental habits. It's been a lifesaver in our house and we love that. So wanted to make sure you knew about that resource as well. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you are able to manage and overcome your overwhelm this week. And I will see you next week.